Jamil Jaffer joins us now. He is the founder and executive director at the National Security Institute. Jamil, thanks for joining us once again this evening. First off, top U.S. officials tell us the threats of this war widening from the Gaza Strip are real and rising. U.S. forces in the region are now on high alert. What is a worst-case scenario that could really drag the U.S. deeper into this conflict in the Middle East?
Well, you know, we've seen a number of missiles headed towards American bases, both in Iraq and Syria. We've had a number of American troops injured. If an American soldier gets killed, that's going to be a real problem. If these Iranian proxy groups that are currently fighting in Syria and have been attacking American soldiers for years, if this turns bloody or worse for the Americans already than it has been, then we could be in the middle of a fight. We also have seen Houthi rebels from Yemen firing missiles at Israel that our ships have intercepted. And so as we bring more forces into the region, they're going to be more inclined to target us, and that could lead to a larger conflict.
Well, the White House has repeatedly said it is not trying to dictate limits for Israel when it comes to their military operations there in Gaza. Should the U.S., though, be doing more to convince Israel not to exercise the type of military force and strength it appears to use to eliminate Hamas?
Well, look, I actually think that it's a little bit different in the sense that the United States, when we went after al-Qaeda, after we lost 3,000 Americans in a single day, nobody came to us and said, hey, look, you need to use less force. You need to be more careful. They supported us and defended us, and I think that's essentially what we need to do with Israel as well. Now, Israel's going to have to be careful to watch out for civilian casualties, but remember, it's Hamas that's telling their own people, stay in North Gaza while we know Israel's coming in. They're the ones who are not looking out for Gazan lives, so the Israelis are going to have to be careful. But the United States should work with Israel to eliminate Hamas, given the number of deaths we're talking about, essentially the equivalent of a dozen 9/11s in a single day.
Yeah. And Jamil, we have to talk about Iran and the U.S. after U.S. forces did conduct those airstrikes on 2 facilities in eastern Syria used by groups that are linked to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. So what's Iran's end game, so to speak? They are notorious for, not being involved directly, but might we see a more direct involvement, and what could that look like? And I guess potentially, what would it take for the U.S. to get involved further?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think Iran has operated through proxies for many years. Their proxy Hezbollah is currently conducting attacks in Israel against Israel in the north. Their proxy groups Ansar al-Haq and Kataib Hezbollah killed over 100 Americans in Iraq during our time there. And now we're seeing these Iranian proxies in Syria launching these attacks against American forces, and their proxies, the Houthis in Yemen, launching more attacks against Israel. So Iran's going to continue to try and work through proxies. I doubt they'll get involved directly, but at some point, either the United States or Israel may respond against Iran directly, because we know that they are behind not just the financing of these groups, but the arming of these groups as well.
Yeah, hence the U.S. sending in those ships and also putting troops on standby, trying to send that message. Jamil Jaffer, thank you very much for joining us, and we appreciate it as always.